As virtuous men pass mildly away, and whisper to their souls to go, whilst some of their sad friends do say, now his breath goes, and some say no. So let us melt and make no noise, no tear floods nor sigh tempests move, twere profanation of our joys to tell the laity our love. Moving of the earth brings harms and fears, men reckon what it did and meant. But trepidation of the spheres, though greater far, is innocent. Dull sublunary lovers' love, whose soul is sense, cannot admit of absence, 'cause it doth remove the thing which elemented it. But we by a love so much refined, that ourselves know not what it is, interassured of the mind, careless eyes, lips, and hands to miss. Our two souls therefore which are one, though I must go, endure not yet a breach, but an expansion, like gold to airy thinness beat. If they be two, they are two so, as stiff twin compasses are two. Thy soul, the fixed foot, makes no show to move, but doth if the other do. And though it in the centre sit, yet when the other far doth roam, it leans and hearkens after it, and grows erect as that comes home. Such wilt thou be to me, who must, like the other foot, obliquely run. Thy firmness makes my circle just, and makes me end where I begun. We never realize before the end this gnawing, heating, thawing of our pledge. We stand upon so drip off the ledge. In love's abyss our sole desire sends. And in it all we struggle to pretend, guffawing, ever clawing at our sense, like virtues can restore the sacred fence, as though the soul is something you can mend. We're left but muddy puddles of ourselves, old forms now again frozen in a hole, unread collecting dust upon bookshelves, our future scribbled, inked in melted soul. All solace and solidity we want, existence serves as love's true denouement.
Okay, your question, the one that you wrote for yourself. How does the structure of a sonnet influence and reflect the content in this tradition of poetry? In this tradition, I'm presuming you mean the Petrarchan Neoplatonist tradition.
I do mean that. A sonnet is one of the most highly structured forms of poetry, which does a couple things. Structure gives poets a place to grow, and it also gives them a chance to have rules they can intentionally and deliberately break in order to show their argument that they are trying to say without even using words. So that is definitely something that I think is utilized throughout this tradition. The other thing about a sonnet is that if you listen to music, common time is 4/4. So humans like the rhythm of things in fours. And a sonnet is interesting because it has 14 lines. So it has 4, 4, 4, and then 2. And if you listen to a sonnet, every time you listen to a sonnet, it feels unfinished. And that's intentional because there's a tension in that unfinishedness that reflects the capacity of what the poets are trying to say about love, about souls, about oneness, about God, about self. They're always reaching. The end of a poem, the end of a sonnet is not the end. It is it's an arm reaching out into what's next.
I'm going to follow that awesomeness up with a little bit of Anne Carson and let you talk about her, about the concept that I'm going to quote to you. A little bit of off the cuffness for me, which is much less polished than your poetry. So, the Greek word eros denotes want, lack, desire for that which is missing. The lover wants what he does not have. It is by definition impossible for him to have what he wants if, as soon as it is had, it is no longer wanting. This is more than mere wordplay. Put another way, desire desires desire. Do you think that these things are working in that Donne poem that you recited?
Desire, desire. I do think that they are working.
Okay.
This is a poem about separation, physical separation. And the argument of the poem is that Donne is saying our two souls are always going to be connected. That if we had but an earthly love, but a sublunary love, like we would not understand that our physical presence next to each other is not what connects us. And I think that he's almost making a counter argument to what you just said, that there is no need to feel separated, to feel like you're desiring something that's not within your reach, because it will always be within your reach, that you're leaning towards it, you're hearkening after it. Can I go further with this question?
Sure.
In the poem that I wrote, I think this plays really nicely, because the poem that I wrote is about recovery after melting into love and continuing to exist. And I think there's an aspect of love that is this loss of desire, this loss of needing something, that once you have it, all you have left are the virtues as almost like an excuse. And so when love is cut off, you can reform yourself. Like I said, like Future's scribbled, inked, and melted soul. Like, your soul doesn't reform to what it was, but it forms your new future in which you can go forward and find that new desire. I don't know if it's...
Stone has another line that goes along with it, actually. He's talking about desire in his poem, A Farewell to Love. Being had, enjoying, it decays. And thence what before pleased them all takes but one sense. And that so lamely, as it leaves behind a kind of sorrowing, a dullness to the mind. And I think it's interesting to think about all of, I don't have anything to say besides that's cool to put them together and ponder.